Chances this is going to bite us later. Same as the chance the worst thing. Yep. Alright, for those of you joining us on YouTube in the future, we are aware that Damping Sphere in our filter lands could be a boo-boo for us. Feel free to take a shot every time that bites us in the butt. Oh, does Stream Deck run out of the spheres? Let me fix that. I replaced the rest in pieces with spheres. So I'm actually going to lead on a tapped land here on one, because I don't quite know what our opponent's playing, so I don't know what exactly we're looking for just yet. I am actually, so because I was sick yesterday and Friday, I actually spent a better part of the weekend doing a bunch of dev work for the open source projects that I work on. And doing dev work under my Linux system reminded me how much I hate using Windows. So I definitely tried to work out some of my streaming issues that I was having under Linux this afternoon. I think I've ironed them all out, so we'll see. We'll see. That's part of the reason why I fired up tonight. I figured if I hit any issues during a test stream, it was no big deal. Tron, Dragon, or an extra stream. Thank you for the 20-month resubscription. I do appreciate that. Welcome back. We have islands in our deck, chat. Why are there islands in my deck? Ooh, who's the idiot that put islands in my deck? Oh no, I wanna block. Why would you even offer me a blocker step? Why would you kick me while I'm down, Magic Online? I'm already sad that I can't block. Why would you be like, hey idiot, do you want to block? I would love to block, Magic Online. Stop setting me up for disappointment. So why are you so mean to me, Magic Online? Why are you so mean? That's a path to exile. That's pretty decent. Let's go bottom here. Hey, Duggernaut. Thanks for the 5-month resubscription. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I actually have a tutorial for how to install Magic Online on Ubuntu. If you want to use vanilla wine, you can also set it up using a Docker image. We do have Terminuses in our deck. We have 2 Terminuses and 2 copies of Supreme Verdict. So even though we're flooding here, we're not just dead. We're like mostly dead, but we're not completely dead. Do I path aggressively here? Probably, right? They didn't play another Lord. I feel like this buys me a little bit of time. And even if this eats a Spell Pierce here, I think I'm pretty happy with that exchange. The new frame is an A+. I agree. I'm very, very happy with how the new frame turned out. Oh, my verdict is supreme, little fish. Little fish, let me in. It's possible that playing into that Spell Pierce there cost us value on that Supreme Verdict, though. We reveal. Yep. For someone that was asking for my, there's a link to get you my MTGO on Ubuntu how-to. Yeah, I think the fact that I played that path out and they had the spell pierce that turn really came back to bite us because we had the verdict. Obviously, we can't know that we had the verdict there, but geez, longer than most of my exes lasted. Keep up the great content. Thanks, GM Miller, the 6-month resubscription. I appreciate that. Welcome back. It's always a testament to me how easy Linux has gotten to install based on some of the questions people ask after they've installed Linux. It's like, man, you managed to install this operating system. What are we even looking for at this point? Opponents played this game very well. They've paced, they know exactly what they're supposed to be doing. They're pacing their threats out in a very elegant manner to play through our sweepers to the best of their ability. DJ Rainey, you were given a 10-minute timeout there for not following the stream rules. Feel free to read those and check back in. We encourage people to be more constructive with their posts than you were. Please be more constructive in the future. They just have a Lord more dead here, right? It is easier to install Ubuntu than it is to install Windows, but your computer comes with Windows by default. You don't have to install it. Windows isn't easy to install because it doesn't have to be easy to install. No, I can't. I don't have that option, Gabriel Paints. I'm actually talking with a Twitch PM later this week about chat moderation and stuff, and some of those things are going to be in my suggestions. Hey, Schlangler, thank you for the 6-month resubscription. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thank you for the continued support. Day 34. We are still confident there are spells in our deck. Maybe. I'm glad someone's confident because I'm certainly not. These Jaces probably aren't good enough, right? There you go. Everybody can check that one off their bingo square. Looks at his deck, size, sideboards out, Jace the Mind Sculptor. I think Tracker's just better. It's like card advantage that they can't attack to death. It's like worse with our sweepers, but I think it's better in the matchup still. It can trade with things in the board too. Details on Discord are here, Robinson. So Time Warp is kind of just a value card in this deck. It's a card that like is good at ramping you to Nissa Vastwood Seer, and it's also a card that what's the word I'm searching for? It's also a card that gives you multiple Planeswalker activations the turn you play it. So we're not like this all-in Time Warp combo deck, but Time Warp is still good in the context of our deck. If they want to trade this Explorer for their Curse Catcher, I'm fine with that. This is for courting nerds while I'm working. I always remember that chat loves the Kiki party. Also, colorless control looks sweet. Perfect. I free Kiki. Is there a Kiki core deck in the queue? Is that what you're telling me? Or is that for the chord list that we played last time? Thank you for the bits at any rate. I appreciate it. Let me know if you'd like me to do something specific with those bits. Grab a first here. The small green splash in this deck has been okay. Like, the fact that these decks tend to be kind of clunky, so like having 6 pieces of ramp feels pretty good. So Trickster, probably. Gonna diddle my Nissa. Probably fetch a breeding pool at the end of turn here. The Glittering Wish Splash is just different, Langler. The glittering wish splash is contributes to the archetype being slow and clunky, whereas this kind of like helps smooth that clunkiness out, I think. Pretty good draw. We're gonna hopefully wait on that until after we flip this bad Mamma Jamma. Yep. What I think is the best card in Merfolk, probably Aether Vial, right? Just like the objectively most powerful card. Jake actually ended up not being sick, which was great. He was just feeling a little bit mellow Friday morning, which was great. But since I was sick, we decided it was better to be safe than sorry than send him to school. Put it towards colorless control, sounds great. So I really can't wait another turn here, right? Because I'll just die. So we're going to attack with Nissa, and then we'll just go ahead and wrath the board. We've been doing our best John Avon impression so far this match, and just drawing a lot of lands. Definitely kind of a land-heavy deck, but we haven't done ourselves any favors, that's for sure. Yep. Master Babes. Spell. That we really wanted to draw Sakura-Tribe Elder last turn, because if I would have drawn Sakura-Tribe Elder last turn, I would have been able to flip Nissa before casting Supreme Verdict, which would have been ideal. You notice a higher proportion of Hearthstone cards? Yeah, it's because Hearthstone's balanced differently. I agree with Gabriel Paints that Hearthstone's balanced differently. It's balanced more with constructed in mind, which is smart on Blizzard's part, because Blizzard is stupid, or maybe they're genius. See, Blizzard does this weird thing where Blizzard likes money, and Blizzard understands that people would much rather watch constructed than watch limited. Because Blizzard likes money, they understand that having their game be more watchable is important, so they focus on constructed, unlike Wizards of the Coast, which has limited a bunch of their largest events, which makes them really bad for coverage. Teferi into Path to Exile will sign me up. You get negated again here. You get to play through Spell Pierce, which is nice. Sweet. thinning the deck is statistically insignificant. You should never thin your deck just to thin your deck. You should only use cards like this if you're getting some kind of value out of it. I'm waiting on the land because I have 2 copies of Courser of Kruphix in my deck, as well as another copy of Nissa Vastwood Seer. So the land drop in my hand has value behind it. If I needed to play the land to play around a copy of Spell Pierce, I would have played the land. But because I didn't need to play it to play around Spell Pierce, I think it's worth holding because of the potential of drawing Courser of Kruphix. I get not enjoying watching it, but Limited is very watchable as far as Magic goes. Look, and this is again, like, I'll say cat poop smells bad, and there's going to be a bunch of people that tell me they love the smell of cat poop, and that's their prerogative. You can tell me you like the smell of cat poop. People always say, but I like Limited when I bring up that Limited has bad numbers. I don't care what you like personally. Every time push comes to shove, Limited events have bad coverage numbers compared to constructed events. They just do. That's just how they are. That's not me being biased, even though I am biased. I don't like Limited. Them's just the numbers, ladies and gentlemen. The numbers say that Limited is not as popular as constructed when it comes to being spectator related. And guess what? Magic already has a pretty hard time being a good spectator type game. So the fact that Limited is worse than normal is pretty bad for Magic. And again, whether or not you do like Limited or don't like Limited, I agree. That's purely subjective. And Magic's great because it's a lot of different things to a lot of different people. So if you enjoy watching Limited, that's great. You can and should enjoy watching Limited. The fact that I don't like watching Limited, and apparently a majority of people don't like watching Limited, that shouldn't detract from your enjoyment of watching Limited if you do enjoy enjoyment. But the facts at the end of the day say that when push comes to shove, the majority of people don't seem to like watching Limited. At least that's what the numbers say looking at event coverage. Ooh. Oh man, are we going all in here? Are we going all in here? This gonna be a concession terminus? I'm feeling a concession terminus, chat. Gonna cast this one out of my hand, just let you know I have another one, it doesn't matter. No, I want the Courser in my deck so I can draw it later. I want the Courser in my deck so I can draw it later. I don't know if I'm going to put that rant on YouTube. Because the problem with posting that rant on YouTube is someone that really cares far more than I do is going to ask me to show my work. And I'm going to be honest, I don't care to show my work. Go back and look at my tweets every time there's a Pro Tour and me going, hey, look, it's the limited portion, no one's watching. This deck's really sweet. We 5-0'd with this deck, an iteration of this deck a couple of weeks ago. This is the first match of this league. We're having a good time so far. Deck just gets to play a bunch of sweet cards like that. Let's do the time warp again. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Oh yeah. Oh, I should have Teferi'd first. Just don't get to play the Celestial Colonnade out. What a beating. You find limited is a good skill test for Rekindled Soul. Thank you very much for the tier 2 sub 3 months in a row. Tier 2 subs get to apply a bonus to a deck of their choice in the queue as a thank you. So be sure to drop me a PM after looking at the donation queue and let me know what deck you'd like to bump up this month. Thank you very much for the tier 2 level of support. What's going on, JMP? I personally don't enjoy playing a lot of limited because I find there to be enough variance in Magic the Gathering that I don't want more variance added to the decks that I'm playing each time. But there's people that have very good win rates in limited, so like it definitely leverages different skills. I just don't enjoy where it shifts the variance to. I feel like limited has variance in different places than constructed, and I don't personally find the place that limited puts that variance inside of deck building a lot of the time to be interesting to me. A big part of what makes Time Warp in this deck very reasonable is the fact that we have so many Planeswalkers. The fact that Time Warp equates to more Planeswalker activations is ideal. I mean, for streaming too, constructed is definitely better for memes, JMP, but I'm talking about like general playing in general. Like even when I was just playing a bunch of Magic, I never really played much limited just because I didn't enjoy the gameplay that it created. We have Damping Sphere. I think 3 mana for Trinity Sphere is probably too slow a lot of the time. You're gonna Spreading Seas us, so I'm gonna hate myself for playing out my only white source here. Yes, correct, Larynx. The new decklist algorithm does exactly what Wizards of the Coast wants it to do. And it was very smart on their part, if we're being honest. The new decklist algorithm lets Wizards of the Coast give the illusion that they want to be free and share more data while simultaneously obfuscating or making the data more difficult to scrape through for winning decks harder. Do you play any blank limited formats, conspiracy unsets? No, I don't think I've really played any of those. I played like the original Modern Masters. I played the very first Las Vegas Grand Prix. It was actually really funny. The very first Las Vegas Grand Prix, one of my wife's high school girlfriends got married in Vegas that same weekend. And she wasn't going to go, but I was like, There's a Magic Grand Prix that weekend. We could go and I could play the Grand Prix and you can go to your friend's wedding. So we went. So for those who aren't familiar with how Wizards of the Coast messes with Magic Online data, what Wizards of the Coast does to mess with Magic Online data is the only decks that get published on Magic Online are decks that don't have a certain number of overlapping cards with other cards that were also published that same week. Which means even if there's 40 copies of a deck that 5-0 since the last deck list dump, only one of that archetype gets published. So if 40 copies of one archetype 5-0 and one copy of another archetype 5-0, they still only post one copy of each. Which means the Magic Online data is artificially diverse, which makes it useless in terms of trying to calculate what's actually happening in the format. It's got a whole lot of nothing going on over there, huh? Ah, yes. The draw of Cryptic Command with Temple Garden, Field of Ruin, Basic Forest in play. What a strong Magic the Gathering play. Did I share my thoughts on... I did, JMP, but for you, I'll share them again. The only people that think those are a good idea are the idiots at Wizards of the Coast that decided that they were going to do it. No, they don't provide any raw data at all. See, Wizards of the Coast is run by people that like to encourage the idea that data is evil. And if you say the data is evil, then you don't have to make hard truths like our designers messed up and designed a bad format, so that's why Standard sucks. It's much easier to say Standard's bad because the data is evil and the data made Standard bad. Even though reasonable people pretty much know that that's not reasonable, right? Throw this onto Strawberry Shortcake. Thanks, JMP. Will do. So the fact that they played their second island and then passed here, I think this means they have Trickster. So I'm just going to go ahead and pass here, because if I activate this Field of Ruin to get 2 clues, they're going to Trickster me in response, which will mean I won't get clues. I think it would still be shitty that they're not releasing data for Standard, but at least they'd be giving me data for the format I care about. Yeah, the Spellhunter deck is gas. I really enjoy it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and field them in response here, because this takes all the abilities off a card. Nah, I'm greedy. I want both my clues. You try and take my clues away from me? My trackers work hard for these clues. They've got families to feed. You think of my trackers' families? They're hungry. We don't have apps like that for Magic Online, because when people try and get organized and farm data like that for Magic Online, Wizards of the Coast sends them cease and desist letters because they're fucking assholes. Oops, did I say that out loud? For those who are unfamiliar, once upon a time, you could watch replay data on Magic Online. And by watching Magic Online replays, Wizards of the Coast, MTG Goldfish was able to farm matchup win percentage data out of Wizards of the Coast, or out of Magic Online data. So using the in-game feature that Wizards of the Coast had in their client, they were able to farm realistic matchup data. Basically, MTG Goldfish took a bunch of time to give us information that Wizards of the Coast wouldn't give to us, but they had internally. Wizards of the Coast asked them to stop doing that, and then they removed the ability to do that from the Magic Online client. Please give me a white source. Please give me an untapped white source. Please give me an untapped white source. Please give me an untapped white source. Come on! Come on! That's such a tilt. This is just an engineered explosives for 2, right? Doesn't feel good, but it's what we've got. To discard a bunch of Cryptic Commands here. The EN2 is fine. It's much worse than an untapped white source. I just want it all, chat. I want it all, okay? Can you blame me for wanting it all? Maybe I don't need 2 trackers. Maybe I could have discarded one of those. Are you worried about getting banned like Jeremy for this salty talk? Okay, so I'm gonna go off on another rant here, Dick Stinkley. Jeremy, as much as MTGHQ would like to think he was banned for talking the harsh truths and just being truthful about things Wizards of the Coast did, Jeremy was banned because he was an asshole who cyberbullied and was directly attacking and harassing other members of the Magic community. Jeremy wasn't banned for calling Wizards of the Coast out on behavior that's bad for the game and silly like saying data is evil. Jeremy was banned for being a dick. That's the cold hard truth there. That's the cold hard truth related to that one. And I'll be happy to ban anyone in my Twitch chat who wants to pipe up and disagree with me on that one, because that dude's an asshole. Yes, correct. You are either... I agree with Voxstar. If you think Jeremy was banned for saying things like I've been saying about Wizards of the Coast with how they handle their data, you're either ignorant of what he's actually done, or you're probably as obnoxious as he is. Freedom of speech is not freedom of consequences. Sorry. You still have to take responsibility for your actions. More rants, please. We're on fire tonight. I'm feeling it. I'm no longer sick. We're standing up. Whoa. We had a misfire on Brendan Poole. Unfree Brendan Poole. All right, thank you, Immortal. Sorry, Brendan Poole, you caught some friendly fire there. Polyvus, thank you very much for the tier 1 sub. I do appreciate that. Welcome. Thank you for the support. I got 2 days worth of pent up rants. All right, if they attack with this here, I'm going to go ahead and path this master, because I'm far enough from flipping this that I'm okay to trade these here, I think. They're going to burn a negate on that. Well, that's good for me. Yeah, the only thing freedom of speech protects you from is from being jailed by the government for the things that you say. It doesn't protect you from blowback from individuals. Doesn't do that. That's not how it works. What does the data provide for the community? Doesn't WotC count as the government? Sometimes you'd think, right? Yeah, sorry, let's not fully derail on that topic, and let's not fully derail on that entire topic here, but just felt like I needed the need to say that, because I feel like a lot of people, like, I don't know. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and condemn this here. Maybe I was wrong to throw my Nissa away, because, like, I kind of need to verdict this board, right? Hey, Fowler, thanks for the Twitch Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Derail more, please. I don't remember what other decks we've played. You can check my YouTube channel. Feel free to skip around. So I think I'm going to go ahead and crack this to start. I would like to hit another land to generate 2 more clues before I wrath this board. Get to crack them for 10 before. We do actually just kind of win the race, huh? There's like crack a clue here and then path. I guess I could go crack, right? Yeah, let's do that, actually. Let's just get aggressive here. Just 14 you. Put you under the double abyss. I'm at 13 here. Like, they're dead to the Celestial Colonnade too now. Okay, this is a piece of timeless Magic the Gathering advice. Don't try and metagame modern tournaments. Repeat after me. If my modern tournament is going to have more than 100 players at it, I will not metagame the modern tournament. Trying to metagame modern tournaments based on the results of the previous week's modern tournament is going to leave you a very sad panda. Nobody looks at the results from this weekend's tournament and goes, you know what? I need to build Jeskai Control, or I need to build Mardu Pyromancer, or I need to go build whatever the hot deck was last week. It's very expensive and time consuming to change decks in Modern, and people don't change based on the results of the previous weekend. Thank you for the bits, Brendan Poole. I appreciate it. Glad you're enjoying the evening. Hope everyone had a great weekend, having a great Sunday night. My name's Jeff Hogan. We're hanging out, shooting the shit, playing some Modern. Stream full time here on Twitch. Thanks for dropping in this evening. Hooded Robin. No interest in playing Modern, but it sure is something. Modern is such a great spectator format. Not only because of the variety of the decks that see play in it, but also because, like, it just has a lot of big, like, flashy finishes for a lot of the decks. All right, I'm going to mulligan this hand. I need to run. I'm ranting. I've worked up a thirst. I'm going to run and fill my water bottle here really quick. With all that rage, you need some red in your card border, right? All right, stew on my 6 for a second here. I'll be right back. All right, is our 6 good? If our 6 isn't good, I'm blaming you, chat. 6 is great. 6 is great. Good for you, chat. I appreciate y'all. Take back all the bad things I've ever said about you. That's not a lie. You're terrible. Tron, huh? If Jeff's stream has proven anything, it's that your stream has a central theme and it's random modern decks that can win anything, so metagaming is useless. Yeah, you're not wrong, Plutonium. You're really not wrong. Look, chat, we put 2 Damping Spheres in our sideboard before this league, so I'm pretty sure Tron can never beat us. I'm pretty sure I read on a Reddit thread somewhere that Damping Sphere made this matchup unlosable, so everybody just hold on here. Not only do we have Damping Sphere, but we have Modern Slayer Jace the Mind Sculptor here. Can you believe that this card is Modern legal, chat? How can our opponent ever win? How can our opponent ever hope to win the game? Jace the Mind Sculptor. Grab basic is land. Yeah, turn 3 Jace. Turn 4 Jace was too good. How do they ever hope to beat this opponent? Sculpting some minds over here. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! And then they tap 3 lands and cast their Planeswalker! Oh no! Oh no! I got some bad news for you, Unbanned Twin. It didn't matter what we did there. We were dead. In fact, I didn't board Damping Sphere in this deck to help us beat Tron. This matchup's still unwinnable. I'm gonna play it out for the sake of you all at home, because I know there's people out there that think this matchup's not unwinnable, and I want you to understand that it is. So I'm gonna break my rule, and I'm gonna let you see how bad this is. No, I had Flooded Grove. I could have played Flooded Grove that turn and then held up Cryptic. We didn't know that they had Tron. I mean, like, we knew that they had Tron because what dirty Tron player doesn't have Tron by the 4th turn of the game? But, like, we weren't aware that they had Tron, so I think the risk of slamming Jace was worthwhile. I don't think that's true, Cobalt Clinic. I think there's a number of decks that I would consider fair in Modern that have remotely reasonable Tron matchups, especially with the inclusion of Damping Sphere. I think Damping Sphere is okay in this matchup if it's accompanied by the right cards. Man, this is a great hand to show why Tron still just dumpsters us. It's completely possible the Tron player didn't have more spells. So here's the dirty secret about Tron. And this is why people who think Tron players are lucky or don't understand why Tron is a good deck don't get it. It is... You gotta come at me with data. You wanna tell me, you wanna walk into my house and tell me I'm wrong? You gotta link a spreadsheet. You gotta link a source. You gotta link a source. Get out of here with that. Oh, see, that's my favorite. Look at that. There's another one. You were 5% to win. That's my favorite kind of statistics. What sounds like a good number? Hogland, why'd you concede? You were 5% to win there. Gotta show me the math. I agree with you that I was not 0% to win the game. I was very low, though. I'm not going to make up some random number that I think sounds good to say how statistically low I was to win that game, but we were very low, to say the least. So, sorry, I was saying, people that don't understand why Tron is good, Tron is a deck with 12 Tron lands, 8 copies of Demonic Tutor, 4 copies of Ancient Stirrings. It's got... Can I concede here yet? Oh, just a Wormcoil. I can beat a Wormcoil. And then another third of the deck is cards that cycle. Tron is the most redundant, consistent deck in Modern. In addition to doing something obnoxious, it's consistent at being obnoxious. Expedition Map and Sylvan Scrying gets you exactly the Tron piece that you're looking for. Yep. Correct, yeah, it's very difficult to interact with because land destruction is not good game design, so Wizards of the Coast doesn't print it. Tron's a very good deck. If you're looking for a good Magic the Gathering deck, man, with this game is like was like a fucking clinic in like why Tron is good, right? Just like have the Damping Sphere on the play, just like nature's claim you, keep doing my thing anyways. Just run you down. All right, hopefully the third match for Waiting to Queue will go better than that one. Welcome to everybody who's hanging out here tonight. Hope everyone had a great weekend. My name is Jeff Hoagland. I'm a full-time streamer and content producer here on Twitch. I stream Magic lots of hours a week, 30 plus hours. If you're enjoying my stream, please consider subscribing to my channel. My subscriptions start at $4.99 a month, or if you're one of the many people out there who has Amazon Prime, if you link your Amazon account to your Twitch account, you get Twitch Prime included with that for free. And Twitch Prime gives you a free channel subscription to a channel of your choice every single month. If you're one of my many YouTube viewers out there and you have Amazon Prime, I don't have to be live for you to subscribe to my channel. So if you can't catch me live, be sure to follow up on there. You can also support my stuff by supporting my sponsors. MTGOtraders.com would love to buy and sell some Magic Online cards with you. And if you use code Hoagland PayPal at checkout with them, you'll save 8% on your singles orders there. CoolStuffInc.com buys and sells a lot of cool stuff, including TCG singles. Using promo code Jeff5, you can save 5% on Magic, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh cards with them. InkedGaming.com would love to help you customize your gaming experience. Using code Jeff12, you can save 12% on custom playmats, mouse pads, binders, and bags there. And of course, we would like to welcome you everyone to Hoaglandia. Be sure to talk to your mods for your complimentary timeout. Kig, Ropa, you were timed out there, not complimentary. You were timed out because you used the word retarded in a derogatory fashion. Please don't ever do that in my channel ever again. If you do it again, you'll be permanently banned next time. Please and thank you. Please be respectful to people around you, especially with those with mental disabilities. That's a big no-no here. Will there ever be a rant repository made? I've been clipping my rants slow and steady when I think I do a good one. So if you search ranting on my YouTube channel, there's a small collection of them growing. Hey, Shins Lol, thank you very much for the 2-month free subscription. I do appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, I need to, every time I try to delete that command, it tells me the command doesn't exist. I need to message Dan Bopes and ask why it's messed up. No worries, Rick. I understand, Tron. You should never get upset with someone who plays Tron for playing Tron. If you really think Tron is that offensive of a Magic deck, you should not be upset with people that are playing a good Magic deck trying to win games of Magic. The person or people you should be upset with that people play obnoxious decks like Tron is Wizards of the Coast, because Wizards of the Coast has the ability to make obnoxious decks like Tron not be allowed to exist. So don't hate the player, hate the game and the people that make the game. Direct your anger to the appropriate sources. Rollins, thanks for the tier 1 sub. I know you've been around before. Thanks for the support again. I do appreciate it. You should make a quarterly rant compilation video. Maybe. Every time you get turn 3 Karned, just do what I do. Close your eyes, search for your center of peace, and repeat to yourself a few simple words. Stoneforge Mystic is too good for Modern. That's all you need to do. Just reach your chi place and remind yourself that Stoneforge Mystic is not allowed. We played the Goryo's As Foretold deck the first time it top 8'd a thing, and it was really unimpressive. Felt really clunky and kind of awkward. But I'd be willing to accept that we ran bad with it, but I watched some other people play and it didn't seem very good either. Holy crap. Sometimes people say things and instead of trying to reason with them, I'm just gonna delete it. God, did someone else get him before me? You did get him before me. I was reaching for the timeout button there, Immortal. I was reaching for you. You beat me to it. Ooh, that's a piece of candy. I hope we're not dead on board. I didn't count yet. I hope that person was being sarcastic too, but I've also interacted with a lot of the Magic community and people say things like that with a straight face and mean it. How am I supposed to beat Warlock with the Spell Hunter deck? You don't. You wait for them to nerf the cards. 2 days. 2 days the Warlock nerfs happen. Nope, they cannot do that. They'll lose their counters. Hey, Stinger, thank you very much for the 800 bits towards Kiki Breakfast Blade. 10 out of 10 will do. Go to that. All right, so we're going to trade Nissa for this Ravager here. Supporting the rants here. Thanks for the bits. I appreciate it. We're taking 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. Oh. Oh, they're totally gonna load up on this, right? Although I guess if they load up on this, then I don't have the verdict here. You did miss Devoted Company, Iron. We started with that one this evening. It'll be up on YouTube later. You're still recovering from illness. It's okay to miss the Banhammer. Thank you. How greedy am I? Oh, I'm just gonna do the time warp, right? Yeah, let's just do that. I'm gonna do the time warp. And try and get more value off this Courser before we throw it away. So I could Serum Visions here, but if I don't hit an untapped white or blue source, I die. I'll do it. Fuck. Yes! Victory! Ha-ha! Alright. Always lucky. Always lucky. Whew. Whew. Never didn't have it. How does it feel? Feels great. Feels excellent. 10 out of 10. A+. Would gamble again. It did kind of bad, Iron. I had some pretty specific feedback on things I didn't like about your build. 10 out of 10, watch the wrap-up video. And 10 out of 10, watch the wrap-up segment. Am I dead to this plating? I might be dead to this plating. I guess I have 2 Serum Visions to find a path here. I'm gonna go bottom here, I think. I just need path to exile, right? Gosh, we are firing on all cylinders today, chat. Ifrit Water, thank you very much for the 3-month resubscription. Got kicked out of the Cool Kids Discord club to remind me to sub. Well, welcome back. I'm glad the Discord reminded you. Nope, links are enabled. Relevant magic-related links are always encouraged. Now that sports betting is legal, we can. I'm gonna bottom here because I haven't played a land yet. Man, that's a lot of cards without a land. It cost them black to move plating at instant speed. How are we still dead, chat? We're at 9. If you want to tell me I'm dead, you gotta explain why. Take a break. Is this just someone's anecdotal evidence? Can you give me a TLDR on what this data means? Because I can't look at the details right now. I think saying Faithless Looting is Brainstorm is kind of stupid. I think that they do very functionally different things. Faithless Looting provides card selection. It is a net negative card advantage, whereas Brainstorm is card neutral in terms of advantage. That one's actually not even very good right now, right? Hey, colleague, thank you very much for the Twitch Prime support. No, there's a lot of great people streaming on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting my content this month. God, we just can't hit a land to save our life here. No, I'm not going to be streaming Pauper anymore. I gave Pauper a few different chances on stream, and it's just not popular as far as content goes. Man, 2 more bricks. So now we're dead. You get to go equip, and then I have 1, 2. Yeah, we're done on board. Really? I could cast Cryptic Command with my mana? Take a break. Take a break. I make my decisions based on data. The data says Pauper's just I think Pauper generates reasonable quality gameplay. Like, I have nothing against the quality of games that occur in Pauper. It seems reasonable and they were kind of fun, but where is that data coming from, Zach? Where is that data coming from? Where is that data coming from? Is it a complete data? Is it of every Magic player that's in those leagues? Did they scroll through the listing? Or is it just someone's random sample? Let me tell you about someone's random sample and biases and samples, especially ones like that. I think we were dead to the Blink Moth, but I didn't actually count it. Project Swamp. I love being at a PPQ all day and then coming home to watch my favorite show. Thanks for the 5-month resubscription. I appreciate it. There's also the part where you're extrapolating that this person's data that's for limited has to apply to constructed, and there's a lot of reasons why limited data wouldn't directly translate to constructed for that type of information too. 8-4s aren't leagues. Yeah, there's that too. There's that too. Yeah, Baloth the game, like, so Affinity oftentimes isn't a deck that kills you in chip shots. It's a deck that kills you with large swings. So like this like buffer of gain 4 usually is pretty slow. Not Bruno, that's not true. The amount of viewers I have while playing Standard and Legacy are also much worse than while playing Pauper. And like, I'm like, okay, so like the viewer counts I have while playing Pauper were comparable to viewer counts I have while playing different like non-Magic games. And like, if I'm gonna work up to build an entirely new audience of people that like aren't interested in my other content, I'd rather invest it in things that aren't Magic related, if I'm being honest. It feels like a lot of the viewers for Pauper type stuff don't translate and vice versa. At least in my experience dealing with it so far. If they have a Spell Pierce, I could get in a little bit of trouble here, but I think I like using my mana efficiently this turn. Yes, Hearthstone has a higher ceiling than Pauper for sure. That's unfortunate. Do I go to 4 here? Do I go to 4? I think I'm gonna go to 4 here. No, I've not streamed any of the non-constructed Hearthstone play. I might stream some of their PvE. I've been playing some of their Monster Hunter off stream while I was sick. I really like it. I don't know, we're post board, so they're like less likely to have Galvanic Blast post board against a control deck. Hey, Be Rich, I'm glad you know you have the mana for her CC. Ranting has higher viewer ratings than Magic. We're just dead here, right? I guess I can path to buy myself a turn. Even that's not good enough, right? Guess I go to 1. Yeah, I mean, that's what this deck is, though, right? Like, this deck is full of kind of expensive, clunky cards that, like, just get you killed. Yeah, it's a good hit. The best articles for getting into Hearthstone, Mike Flores' classic "Who's the Beatdown" is just fantastic. If you're someone that struggles identifying when you should change roles in card games, Hearthstone's very much a game that will help you learn that very quickly, because that's the most important skill you can have in Hearthstone, is being able to identify when you should be pivoting from killing your opponent or controlling the board to trying to kill your opponent. Hearthstone very much rewards recognizing correctly when you need to make that pivot. There's a couple of what's it called? Oh, I'm blanking on the name. There's a couple of Hearthstone specific "Who's the Beatdown" posts that seem reasonable, but I haven't read them specifically myself yet. Bunch of 3 and 4 mana spells that I can't cast yet. Perfect. Burgle and I ran the numbers on that at one point, Slim Wednesday, and it was something, I think the numbers were actually higher than that. I forget how we calculated it, though. We've not played the prison deck. I might do the prison deck tomorrow. Not sure if I have the mental fortitude to break down and do the prison deck tonight still. Did a blue-black prison deck win the Classic today? %0 iron. That deck's really bad. Blue-red won the Classic. Was it doing anything interesting? No, Tuesday the nerfs go in on Hearthstone. Tuesday, they do their downtimes on Tuesday. It's fine, opponent. I didn't want to play Magic with those cards anyways. Joke's on you, I drew my land. I don't think there's another breeding pool in this deck, is there? There's only one breeding pool in this deck, so I actually can't fetch and have double green and double blue. That's a little awkward. Generally speaking, I really enjoy tempo or flash style decks that play with thin margins on minimal resources. Had to make, that's true. That is why there's not more. We had to make space for the filter lands. That is the truth. Yeah, Infect's fine, Iron. There's actually a couple of Infect, there's at least one Infect decklist in the queue already, I think. Do I want to play this out into a Terminate? I think that's fine. Is a K command? Wow, this is a really medium use of a K command. I actually don't think the mana in this deck is that bad. It's being pulled in a lot of directions, but the fact that you have Sakura-Tribe Elder in the deck actually makes the mana a lot less bad than it appears on the surface. Yeah, K-Command setting up Bedlam Reveler makes sense. I really don't want to draw Sakura-Tribe Elder, so let's fetch that away. Good basic Island here. How do we feel about just bouncing this Bedlam Reveler? Is that silly? Kinda just want to bounce this. Jace the 4 mana unsummon. Let's go. Yep. You die with 80 black spells in your hand. That's tasty. Finger licking good right there. That's a Teferi. That's a Teferi. Are we doing it? Are we doing it? We hit Teferi and Basic Forest. There's a Sakura-Tribe Elder on top. I mean, do I even want to bury the moon? I mean, the moon's like shutting off their lingering souls, right? I don't think I want to do anything to this moon. I'm pretty sure this is good for us. I'm just gonna draw a card, chat. Everybody's like talking about impacting the board. Are you aware that this card draws a card? I feel like the people in chat don't understand that this says draw a card. Also, like, I'm gonna draw this Sakura-Tribe Elder here in half a second, and then he's gonna get us another basic forest, or a basic another basic plains. Hey, Be Rich with the $10 donation. Thank you for that. My take on Paladin post nerf might blow with CTA at 5. We'll see. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'll get that into the queue. Hit me, baby, one more time. Oh, my sequencing was wrong there, right? I should have done this the other way. I probably want to bottom this Jace, right? I'm gonna put this back, put this back. I'll go Serum Visions, draw the Courser, and then I can bottom Jace, bottom Cryptic Command. I can plus this to draw a card. That's unfortunate. Yeah, their last card is Bedlam Reveler for sure. Last card is 10 out of 10 Bedlam Reveler. We are aware of that. I don't actually think Blood Moon is that good in Modern right now. I think there's a lot of the decks that it was previously good against have like insulated their mana bases. It's really good against people who are unlucky. I need to see a deck list, Iron. You know the rules. I don't just agree to random stuff. So this is probably going to be a Supreme Verdict turn next turn. We could get Thoughtseize though too. Yep. Okay. Just gonna let this happen, I think. Details on how donation decks work are here. Did my viewership on average go up after the whole owl thing? No, not really. Not specifically. So we get how many looks at a sweeper here? We get like 6 cards look for a sweeper here. Get to give him the D potentially too. Oh, we could path ourselves for Time Warp mana. Yeah, that was 10 out of 10 the line. Definitely should have pathed myself for Time Warp mana. I agree with that assessment. I'm pretty sure Zer's Weirding is bugged on Magic Online right now. Oh, I stacked that wrong. Towards firing the People's Cannon in Modern Go Belcher. Thank you very much for the support. I'll get that added there. Detention Sphere lets us keep the Jace alive, right? Kinda. I'm just gonna swarm him anyways. God, yeah, it would have been so good if I'd have pathed myself for the extra island. I could de-sphere the moons and then warp. That's a good line. That's a great line. Let's do that. No, Titan Shift's on my no-fly list, Iron. I hate that deck. We're also getting pretty close to just ulting this, right? We get another Time Warp, we can ult that. We have outvalued the value god. Outvalued the value god. Alrighty. That's exciting. That's exciting. Gids is a little bit awkward here against their go wide strategy. I want my spoot removal. I'm gonna trim these explorers, they're just kind of filler. Explosives is okay. They have such varying casting costs. I guess it's good for clearing all the tokens. Sweet, I called the concede line, thanks for the bit splur. I guess that's good enough. Baloth's kind of medium. I guess Cryptic Command's kind of clunky too against the Blood Moon decks. Like they're 10 out of 10 leaving Blood Moon in against us because I've met Magic Online players. This is basically Bant cards that draw cards. This is a great way. This is Bant value. Bant cards that draw more cards. Well, we have 2 Terminus too. So we have 5 sweepers in the 75. We have a Wrath of God and 2 Terminus. Oh, Bionic Broccoli. Well, thank you for the resub. Be sure to drop me a line. Let me know what you want your big sub deck for the month to be. Nah, I think we really don't care about Blood Moon that often. I think we just like often don't care about Blood Moon. Like between Nissa and Sakura-Tribe Elder and our fetch lands. Hey, Phyrexian Fox with the $10 donation. Did someone say Belcher? That's my trigger word. Add this to Modern Belcher as well. 10 out of 10. This hand's not great against Blood Moon, but it's pretty good generically, so I'm going to keep it. I'm gonna toss my random uneven amounts of pennies at the shill until they empty my account. Thank you for the bit, Stinger. I think this is going to be my last league for the night. I thought I might have enough for 3, but we've been going for 3 hours already, and we've got one more match after this one, so I think I'm going to call it a night after Bant Friends, and I'll be back tomorrow, so nice, normal, full stream schedule next week. I'm here Monday through Friday, many hours during the day, so be sure to drop by. I'll kick off about 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, and I'll be going for 8 or 9 hours. I think Eternal Command is sweet, but it is clunky and slow, like many sweet things in Modern. Thank you for the ad farming, Danky Dad. Appreciate the bits. Yeah, Unbanned Twin, my goal is to do at least one weekend stream on the weekends that I'm home. I don't know. No guarantees on how long they'll be, but just like I'm popping on in the evenings every Wednesday, my goal is to do Wednesday night and then one weekend night. So the thing that a lot of people don't understand when looking at this mana base is that people aren't used to looking at cards like Sakura-Tribe Elder and thinking about these as colored sources of mana. So while when you glance at the surface, this deck looks like it probably has a hard time casting a card like Cryptic Command, when you account for the fact that Sakura-Tribe Elder is a way to fix our mana effectively, it's much easier to cast a lot of our spells than it looks on paper just looking at the mana base. We did just get Molten Rained. That's a Goblin Rival Master. Okay. I think I'm just gonna Timely here. Yeah, I'm just gonna Timely. Hopefully Timely encourages them to kind of extend more. Then we can clean them up with this Wrath of God. Supreme Verdict, whatever this magic card is called. I could also potentially path some of my own tokens here in the event that they Blood Moon me. For the land destruction, thanks Stinger. I'm gonna go ahead and block one of these. It'll encourage them to keep the Rebel Master back for an extra turn. The Collective Brutality. Something with an alternative casting cost based on how Magic Online works and the pausing. Gosh, I'm good. So now they're not going to play into, or they can't play into it. Why would I path in response? What is pathing in response do to me? Gonna path this. Why do I need a basic land? I actually kind of want to test like the black-green core. Like they're Jund with 4 trackers is probably pretty good. Like Raging Ravine and Ancient Grudge are very good Magic the Gathering cards. So I kind of wouldn't mind trying like a Jund shell with just like a bunch of trackers in it. Culligan's Command Back My Tracker is also pretty good. What we got? All right, this one I'm going to path myself in response to. And I'm pretty sure I actually want to get a basic forest here in case they blood moon me. I didn't play the open. I stayed home this weekend because I was ill. Hey, look at that. Found a piece of candy, chat. And because I pathed myself last turn, Nissa flips. Ooh, I tapped my lands wrong. Definitely should have left blue mana up there. Because she could drop. I was like, I can't play a blue card this turn. She could definitely draw a blue card. Don't have a bolt. Don't have a bolt. Don't have a bolt. Don't have a bolt. Huh. I'm gonna play this out because if they have lightning bolt, they would have killed her. I guess they could have another collective brutality as a reason to hold this. Quarter for the candy. Thanks, Stinger. Oh, they have another brutality. Ooh, Bedlam. Okay, so they could have a lot of things now. Bin double Pyro. That's brutal. They know they need to try and pressure us through these things, though. If they attacked here, I wouldn't have blocked because of the potential of... Oh, yeah. Is this... I might need new pants here in a second. Is this legal to show on Twitch? This is... Oh, it's just so good, chat. It's just... yeah. Just enjoy it. Just enjoy the cards. Just let the cards flow through your body. But just, right. Nissa didn't count as playing a land for the turn. She just put it into play. That's a thing of beauty right there, chat. It's a thing of beauty. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Drew some cards. Drew a couple of cards there. Just get those cards shot right on up into my veins. That was cute that you drew 3 cards last turn, opponent. How does that compare to my turn? That wasn't very good. That's weird. It's weird that your drawing 3 cards wasn't very good compared to my turn. Strange. I feel like you should file for a refund. Your draw 3 just wasn't quite good enough. Wasn't prepared to keep up with Tireless Tracker and Nissa Sage Animist. The post-coital cigarette. Smoke if you got 'em. Dreadbore. That's so rude, opponent. Why would you kill my why would you kill my tracker? My poor tracker. You're attacking me? That's bold. Did I just take this hit? I think I just take this hit, right? Yeah, I'm just gonna take this hit. No blocks. Because having the Sakura-Tribe Elder actually adds value to us with this Courser of Kruphix next turn. And I'm not going to crack this clue for the same reason. Being able to control the top card of my deck is valuable here. Like being able to shuffle and like draw another card. Time Warp. I definitely want that. Let's do the Time Warp again. And when does she ult? Oh, are we gonna ult the Planeswalker, chat? I think we're gonna ult the Planeswalker, chat. Who's excited to ultimate the Planeswalker? Who's excited to ultimate the Planeswalker? The old Time Warp into Time Warp into Planeswalker all too. I'm almost certain this deck isn't very good, but I'll be damned if it isn't just the best time ever. I thoroughly enjoy the things this deck does. Oh, and a Teferi. Sure, Teferi, you can join the party. Tireless Tracker and Nissa, Tireless Tracker and Nissa are always up for a third. Come back, opponent! We weren't done drawing cards yet. Why don't you want to draw cards with us, opponent? All right, there's one more match in this league. While we're waiting for it to pop, I'd just like to say thank you to everybody who's hanging out here tonight. Got almost 1,000 people. Hope everyone had a great weekend. My name's Jeff Hogan. I'm a full-time streamer here on Twitch. If you're enjoying my stuff, please consider subscribing to the channel. Help me do this full-time like I do. Also, be sure to check out some of my sponsors. Cardsphere.com would love to help you turn some of your Magic cards into other Magic cards or cash directly with other people. There's no haggling. They just take a 1% fee off the top. And Mac Weldon provides premium men's clothing. Using code Jeff Hoagland at bit.ly/Google Clothes, you can save 20% on your order of premium shirts, shorts, polos, underwear, all sorts of great stuff there. And of course, this stream is made possible by viewers like Anaronix, Justin, Nivik, and you. At the very least, if you are enjoying my content, make sure you hit that follow button. Following the stream doesn't cost you anything. It lets you know when I go live and with what. I always try and put the names of the decks I'm going to be playing on a given day in the stream title, so that way you can kind of know what to expect when I fire up for the day. And if you can't catch something live that you think sounds sweet, be sure to check out my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Jeff Hoagland. I archive all of my stuff there, and you can watch just the stuff that you care about, because I break it up by deck and by matchup. So I'm going to lead on Breeding Pool here, because Breeding Pool lets me cast Explore and Serum Visions. Serum Visions will hopefully dig us to a white source here. Perfect. There's some tapped white sources. Well, I guess I get to play Sakura-Tribe Elder next turn. That's pretty good. Hey, the Stinger. I had to get more bits for the second cigarette, and after the double time warp line, go ahead and throw these towards a Gristlebrand list. 10 out of 10 will do. Thank you for the support. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out. I know I had a couple days off, so I appreciate everyone coming by now that I'm back and no longer under the weather. For people that are wondering where the other sponsors went, unlike some other Magic content, I don't want my content to be all about the advertisements 24/7. So I have multiple sponsor pages. So my goal is it's going to be like commercials on the TV, right? You don't watch the same commercial every time. So I'm doing multiple smaller ad breaks, as opposed to making everybody watch this like 2-minute long ad in the middle of every league. Because watching ads for 2 minutes is boring, whereas like a 45 to 60 second ad break, that's tolerable and reasonable in my opinion. No. Still plenty of wonderful sponsors on the stream, and they're all scrolling down below. Hear me in the corner as always. There's a sponsors link underneath my stream as well. You can check that out if you ever forget one of those discount codes. You want to use them while I'm offline. Because while the advertisements in the banners are what helped me be here, the focus of what we do here is the Magic. So I don't want it to become about the adverts. I think everyone should continue giving SCG constructive and specific feedback regarding their latest advert policy. I think SCG has kind of gone over the top with all the ads that they play, but they still provide good Magic content. I just kind of wish that there was more actual Magic content. Didn't I have a Celestial Colonnade on top of my deck? Did I bottom that? I might have bottomed it like an idiot. As someone who played a lot of paper Magic for a very long time, playing Magic online is infinitely more convenient. Hey, Instant Dunk Coffee, thank you very much for the brand new subscription. I appreciate that. As always, my subscribers, in addition to my sponsors, are why I'm here, so thanks for helping me do what I do. The Hearthstone Grand Prix that went on this weekend was very well done. Their coverage was A+ and quite excellent. I was watching a bit of the DreamHack Open myself. Yep, little to no support for Legacy and Paper, that's for sure. Yep, yeah, I agree, Saul. And like hitting an unwinnable matchup and like having to wait an hour to play your next match feels really bad. Land. All right, well, that's another Steve. That's decent. Man, I really wish I would have topped that Colonnade. I thought I did, but I probably just didn't. It's kind of late. There's a reason why this is going to be our last match here tonight. So Steve gets to block Tarmogoyf here, and then I can condemn the Grimflayer, which is nice. They're probably Death Shadow Jund too, which makes condemning them even funnier. And then if we draw a land naturally next turn, we could actually flip the Nissa, right? Because like land drop plus this next Sakura-Tribe Elder flips this Nissa over, which is great. Yeah, Magic tournaments are a slog for sure. I think my record was I played was an 11 round day one, and then I played a 9 round into the semifinal. So I played 22 matches of sanctioned Magic in 48 hours one time, or 36 hours. Yeah, it was 22 matches of sanctioned Magic in about 40 hours. Somewhere between 36 and 40 hours. All right, so really looking for a Planeswalker here, just like that, so we can start into generating some advantage here. Well, I guess Lad Chad doesn't really generate advantage strictly, right? He's pseudo advantage because like he's gonna make our next sweeper better since he's gonna sit here and lock down this Tarmogoyf. I don't know. I think we might eventually see that kind of integration with MTG Arena. I doubt we'd ever see any innovation like that with regards to Magic Online. I don't know what Steward of the Elements does. Oh, that card. I like that Nissa Vastwood Seer still gets us a land, even when she just eats crap and dies. The fact that Steward of the Elements doesn't impact the board means you generally can't play her early, and this deck already has a lot of plays that you don't want to play early, so adding another slow, clunky card to this deck, I don't think is what it wants to be doing. Well, awesome instant coffee drink. I'm glad you've been enjoying the YouTube stuff. Thank you for the support. I appreciate it. Thanks for helping me do what I do. I think that's probably a little bit extreme. I think Liliana the Veil is easily one of the best Planeswalkers ever printed. I think Gideon of the Trials is a very reasonable card. And it's definitely a competitive card, but I think calling it better than Liliana the Veil is probably a little extreme. It's a Bloodbraid Elf. Could be a K command too, right? Like K command into Bolt maybe. Like Shock Gideon. Oh, return Street Wraith, make me discard. Okay. They know I have at least one path here. They can probably assume my last card is good once they see me discard that one. We have a Death Shadow played out here. 3 cards left in hand. Virtual Fourth here on top. Ally of Zendikar is okay. 4 mana is a lot more than 3. I think the spot on the curve where Gideon of the Trials comes down makes it really appealing. I think there's a lot of competition for like 4 mana finishers in Modern. Hey, Mr. Lifeguard. That time of the month again makes it easier to not miss hitting that button thanks to your very regular streaming schedule. Well, thank you for the continued support. Welcome back, a quarter of a year. I'm gonna go ahead and get aggressive here. I'm gonna path this Goyf and try and kill them in 2. They put themselves down to 8. I have another removal spell here. I'm not going to attack with Steve because if they have Bloodbraid Elf, I want to be able to block it and sacrifice Steve as opposed to burning my path on a Bloodbraid. I don't think I want to attack with the Bandito. I want to hold him back in the event of a hasty Bloodbraid. Like, they're playing Traverse. They probably have at least one hasty Bloodbraid in their deck. Yep. See a plus Liliana here. Eat this path out of my hand. It's unfortunate. Now they get to stick a threat that Gideon can't attack through. Yep. Be Death Shadow. So we've got a lot of lethal draws here. Like any Sweeper or Teferi or Jace are lethal here. So a lot of good ones. I'm gonna wait on sacrificing Steve. Really good at drawing Path to Exile against this opponent, apparently. I'm very lucky, opponent. I'm aware. Very lucky. Alright, so in matches like this, you generally want to board out your counter spells because these matches generally come down to being able to impact the board like that last turn was. So cards that depend on you having them before your opponent gets on the board generally aren't ideal. I don't think Baloth is good enough here. Baloth is generally smaller than Tarmogoyf and Death Shadow, so I don't think it's good enough for like however many copies of Liliana the Veil that they have. I think I'm just trimming Explorer again. It's like kind of a filler card that's fine to trim. I had someone comment last time we played this deck that I boarded out Explorer a lot, so does that mean I should cut it in general? And I don't think that's true. And the reason why I think Explorer is an okay card to have, even though we trim it a lot, is because post-board, we're generally bringing in some more specific answers to things, whereas game one, we kind of don't really know what we're playing against, so just like being able to see more copies of every card in our deck, as well as getting to our finishers faster, is nice, whereas post-board, we don't necessarily need to have that density and need to have as much acceleration. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and run it like this. I could maybe see the argument that like maybe Elspeth Sun's Champion is too expensive here, or maybe Tireless Tracker is too much grind against a deck that likely has Teamer Battle Rage in it, but I think both those cards are fine. I think we're going to live to get to those spots in the game a lot of the time. This is going to be my last match of the evening. Thanks everyone for hanging out. I'll be back again tomorrow morning about 13 hours from now. I start about 10 a.m. Central Standard Time on Mondays, most days during the week. Lantern Control is the type of deck that even when it's good and powerful, it's miserable to play, so people don't play it. People play Magic to have fun by and large, so when decks are miserable, they have to be exceptionally good for people to play them, to play through them being miserable. And Lantern isn't that much better than most things in Modern, so people just don't play it because they'd rather have fun. This is sweet. We've been streaming for three and a half hours from my Linux partition, and I haven't hit an encoding overload. I think I might have, fingers crossed, might have sorted my issues with that. Look, I want to do my dog poop comparison. I can tell you dog poop smells bad, and there's going to be someone in the audience that raised their hand and says, I like the smell of dog poop, and that's fine. You're allowed to like the smell of dog poop. You're allowed to think Lantern Control is fun. What you should be aware of, though, is that by and large, the general population doesn't agree with you. And that's okay. Life is great because people are different and people enjoy different things, but I don't think it's a stretch to say, by and large, people find Lantern Control to not be a fun deck to play with. Good evening, Jeff. Good evening, chat. I've read that some legacy writers and content, such as Manguchi, have written their starting preferred Sultai Delver to Grixis Delver. Lightning Bolt's a really good card. Basically, F-Gator, the Deathrite Shaman lets you play enough colors in Legacy that you can play all the different things. So if you think Tarmogoyf is good, great, play Tarmogoyf, but you should probably still be playing Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt's really good in tempo decks like Delver, in my opinion. All right, well, we've got sweepers on lock. I'm going to go ahead and play this Engineered Explosives out for 2 aggressively here because we could miss a land drop next turn. Counters Company went kind of mediocre. It'll be published on YouTube after we're done here tonight. It was kind of a medium build. There were some definite holes in the list. I think this deck's a lot of fun. I think this deck gets to draw a bunch of cards, and I like drawing cards. I think it's kind of slow and clunky in general, and it'll never be tier 1 in Modern, but if you like casting Planeswalkers and dirtling around, it's great. A Liliana here, we're probably just too far behind. Could have a K command too. Like shatter my explosives, make me discard. That's fine. I'm gonna bin this Terminus. We're pretty far off from ever casting it. Okay, untap land, please. Ding. Gosh, it even turns on all our colors. Feeling all twingy inside. Look, I'm not going to argue with people over which clunky 4 and 5 mana Planeswalkers you can put in this deck. I'm just going to say that most of them are worse than the Planeswalkers we're already playing. But if you're playing this deck, you're probably not playing it because you want to play something that's super optimal. So you should have a good time and play whatever clunky 4 and 5 mana Planeswalkers you want to play. Play the magic cards you enjoy casting. Life is too short not to. Oh, geez. Come on. Can I get one more untapped land here? Can I get one more untapped land here? God, can we just wrath this nerd, please? Or a Terminus. Untapped land or Terminus. I'm not picky. Untapped land or Terminus. Either will do. Survey says. Survey says. We might get to live till next turn. And this is a great example of, like, someone asked about the X cost Nissa earlier. The fact that this card gets us a land at a bare minimum is very good. Very, very good. This is a tapped land. I will give you that it's kind of a land, but it is definitely not an untapped land, chat. Stop it. This is a very tapped land. No, I was specific. This was a tapped land. Oh, geez, they drew a... No. Rude. Well, I don't have Teamer Battle Rage. That's good for us, I guess. They're going to kill my Gideon. They are going to kill my Gideon. That's good for us, too. The fact they're, like, splitting the difference here is so good. Come on, play a Grimflayer. Play a Tarmogoyf. Play into my Wrath of God, please. No, don't play a Thoughtseize. Stop it. Stop it. Ooh. 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 Come on, pass the turn. Pass the turn. Stop it. You don't have a disco, baby. Ooh. 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 Boom goes the dynamite. You know, it's really disappointing how ugly the border is on these cards because the artwork on so many of these cards is so stunning. So, like, the fact that the border is so hideous is so very sad. It's very sad to me. This is my 4/4. Big Gids is coming. Little Gids is coming. Should have held the land to play around Decay Command. That's interesting. Yeah, probably. Pulse, sure. I also could have held it for a Courser of Kruphix. This card probably shouldn't be in my deck against the Shadow deck. I guess the blockers are pretty good. This could have been like literally any card in my sideboard. I think if they win this game, we're gonna board this card out for game 3. Playing out the 6th land has value because we still have another Nissa Vastwood Seer in our deck, so being able to flip Nissa right away should we draw her is important. Celestial Colonnade would be really good here. That's a big in. Hey, J-Robes, thank you. Woot woot. I decided to have Jeff read woot woot. Well, thank you for the 3rd of your support, J-Robes. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Down to 5. That's probably going to be the end of it. The amount of card qualities that they're going to get off this Grimflare trigger is kind of insane. Pretty sure we just tucked this friendo. We've not, Justin. We're actually going to play it tomorrow. I've been going for 3.5 hours tonight. I'm not going to get to a 3rd deck. We'll play Prison at some point tomorrow. I think I'm going to start with Legacy in the morning, but we'll play the Prison deck at some point. They're fetching here. They have a Bloodbraid and they want to cascade in something random. Traverse. This is Traverse for Bloodbraid. So they're going to Traverse for Bloodbraid and then kill my Teferi. I am feeling better, Digitech Wire. I feel like a person again. I feel like a real boy. And we're dead. It's a pretty good one. All right, we're going to cut this Timely Reinforcements that didn't do anything. I've been watching a lot of Hearthstone streamers recently since I started playing that game. Brain, Kibler, and HS Dog are both very good streamers. Been enjoying their content on the Hearthstone side. I have a noise gate on. I might actually. I definitely have a noise gate on. It's been so long since I streamed on the Linux side that the last time I probably streamed, actually definitely the last time I streamed on the Linux side, I had kids around still. I mean, I'm in the Arena beta. It's just I can't play Magic the Gathering on Arena, so I have no reason to play or watch Arena. Maybe when Wizards of the Coast lets me play Magic that I want to play on Arena, I'll play Arena. You meant Hearthstone Arena? Yeah, it was funny. I was watching Kibler stream the other day and someone asked him about Magic, and he said until Wizards had recently sponsored him to play Magic Arena, he hadn't touched a Magic card in like 2 years. I was like, yep. That's an interesting and kind of sad commentary for WotC. gonna grab a breeding pool here and cast the Serum Visions. We're looking for sweepers. I'm gonna bottom both of these. Just looking for removal at this point. Interaction with the board. I mean, it's not impossible to curate your chat regardless of the size of your viewership. You just need to scale up your moderators while you scale up your viewership. I mean, like, and remember, like, Kibler has an outstanding invite to any Pro Tour he wants to go to, right? He just doesn't use it because it's not profitable for him to go to Pro Tours. It's like people who have jobs that don't have copious amounts of PTO, that don't want to use that PTO for the Pro Tour. Like, it's a money-losing proposition to play a Magic Pro Tour, even for someone who's good at the game. Like, even if you're good at Magic, you're still going to lose money going to your average Pro Tour once you account for hotel costs and cards and food and all that other stuff that goes into an event. I grab a forest here so I can play Courser before I make a land drop for the turn. Don't they have to pay for the flight? No, for Hall of Fames, they don't pay for the flight. Yeah, and the time and preparation you spend, yep. If they don't have a way to kill this Courser here, this Tireless Tracker and him are going to do some good work together. Hall of Fame pays for the flight to the one Pro Tour per year that they do Hall of Fame induction at. I don't have a source on that, but they changed it at one point. You used to get it for 4 times a year, but the Hall of Fame has gotten large enough that they don't do that anymore. Huh. So I get one less clue, but I'm pretty sure I just want to play Prairie Stream here because I definitely want to draw this Teferi next turn, right? I definitely want to draw this Teferi next turn. Yeah, that's part of the reason why Exalted Pathfinder is fucked, right, Marty? Grand Prix, I believe, pay for a flight. It depends on how you get your qualification, what they pay for. And they don't pay for hotels for anyone except like Gold and Platinum pros, though. Pretty sure that's the case. And like the fact that this Teferi is on top of our deck means they can't Thoughtseize it either, which is very insane for us. That they pay for anything is pretty great. I mean, kinda. It depends on what you expect it to mean, right? Like, if you want it to be a tour to support Magic professionals, just paying for anything isn't good enough, right? Like, if you want this to be something that people that can make their job doing, like, there are a bunch of people that get their panties in a twist every time someone calls it the promotional tour, a tour that comes out of WotC's promotional budget. But whose business is that? It's probably not my business. At any rate, you know, details. I'm of the opinion that for something to be a professional tour, you need to actually support your players as professionals probably a little bit more than they do. A lot of people that only play Magic professionally, the only reason they make any sort of living doing it is because of content. There's a quote somewhere of Morrow saying that it is definitely the professional tour and not promotional. But I'm of the opinion that if you put lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig. So like, you know, you can call it the professional tour until you're blue in the face, but until you treat it like the professional tour, it's probably the promotional tour. I'm not going to attack with Courser of Kruphix because I don't want Teferi to die to a Bloodbraid Elf. There are a lot of people who like to think they are professionals, but there are not a lot of people. There's very, very few people who are actually Magic professionals in the world who derive all of their income from doing Magic-related things. We tucked to Tarmogoyf because it was their only threat in play. Correct. It is literally the promotional tour. That is correct. Wow, if this is their only play here, they are in a lot of trouble, huh? Because this just like eats this now. Arena's actually being developed in-house, Bob. Why are we still up, little boy?
I told him he could come say hi to you and then he has to go back to bed.
Okay, can you come say hi to the internet?
He said he wants to see his dad.
Dad's in the last match of the night. Can you come say hi?
Hi.
Hi, internet. Can you come say hi?
Can you say hi, internet?
Eggs.
Say hi, internet.
Egg.
That's not an egg, it's a ball.
It's a ball. Can you say hi?
Take one here.
Say hi, internet.
Take one.
I'll get you an egg if you say hi, internet.
Hi.
That's a good try at a big word. Let's attack Liliana the Veil here. It'd be bad if Dad misclicked through this one.
The big one.
The big one?
I put green egg inside. Put the green one. Put the green egg in here.
What color is that egg?
Bigger.
That's not green. What color is that egg?
Do bill.
What color is this one?
There's something in purple. I want more.
You want more?
I want green.
Maybe
You
Mom.
really want green?
Maybe Mom will let you take your eggs to bed.
He said, I really want green.
I want green.
I want more. I really want green. You want me to get you a green one?
Hey, go with Mom and get a green egg and go to bed. Man, this Supreme Verdict's about to be great.
You wait here.
Because my opponent's deck is full of removal, and I'd much rather just take their Planeswalker off the table rather than trying to race her. Like, they could very easily play blockers out like this. Like, there's a lot of things that could go south with just, like, trying to be overly aggressive there. I've got, like, zero reason to be overly aggressive. Like, we could very easily just, like, take over the game with the Teferi and going long. I've not closed the window yet, but it's currently blowing cool air on me, so I will remember to do that. I appreciate the reminder, though, Doof Monster. I really do. Thank you for helping me try to help me not be an idiot. Steve-O Bandito. Let's go ahead and crack him now. Grab this last basic out, make another clue. I'm gonna crack this for a path just in case we hit it and have close to lethal. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and attack them with Tireless Tracker because they're forced to block. I guess I can just. I don't fetch. Just send them money however you want to send them money. Now they have to block this actually, right? And then I get to path this and I don't even have to sweep. Goy's a 6/7. Condemn is only attacking. So I'm gonna go ahead and path the Death Shadow here. Get to gobble up their Tarmogoyf for free. Still hold Condemn up. Still have my card drawing monster. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh god. The path was the first instant. Fuck. Mistakes were made, chat. Mistakes were made. Wasn't paying attention. I should have cracked a clue. I just had in my head that like someone just asked what it was and I said 6/7 and then I didn't register that it was going up. Now this game could possibly be close, which is unfortunate for us. I'm going to keep my Teferi alive here, believe it or not. So they would be dead if I was better at magic. Or maybe they had a removal spell, but like, if I'm not better at magic, if I was paying attention, they'd be in trouble. But I wasn't paying attention, and we have like infinite cards still, so we're probably fine. Man, where are my time warps? My other planeswalkers at? Can I get a time warp? Go bottom here. Steve doesn't actually get any lands anymore, which is sad. Put them to 7. Play this. Untap some lands. Play go. Field might... You can't field basic lands, chat. Field is a very well-designed card. You can't screw people that aren't greedy. I like the part where we're up 8 minutes on clock against them, too. I can Jace brainstorm this back into my deck if we find a Jace. Was this the person that had a Dreadbore, or was that the Mardu player? I think that was the Mardu player. They could have a Dreadbore too. What tournament am I going to next? I have no idea. Playing paper Magic tournaments kind of feels like a chore, if I'm being honest. Playing Magic on Magic Online is just far more convenient. We posted a 5-0 with this deck earlier this month. We've had a couple of middling results in between. It's a lot of fun. If you like casting sweet planeswalkers and drawing cards, this is one of the best decks for doing that in Modern for sure. I'm aware, music. I'm aware of how the rules work. They took my Supreme Verdict. That's interesting. Oh, is that a feature? Are none of the cards Sharpied under wine? Oh, man. So, I'm currently streaming from a Linux computer using software called Wine. And I think the new border just isn't in use. I haven't been paying attention, but I think... Wait, they aren't... Wait, what? They didn't new border... Why didn't they new border the Planeswalkers? Seriously? I don't pay attention to things. You can have a timeout for putting a sad face after the word Linux. Get out of here. Only legendary... Seriously? Is that for real? Look, Immortal. I'm gonna need you to not test me tonight. Look up a legend. That's true. What's a legend that we know? Vendilion Click, right? Oh no, the Sharpie border's there. I was like, that's so weird. Why would you not Sharpie border the most iconic cards? I don't get it. I don't understand, chat. I don't understand. Why even make the distinction that they're legendary if you're not going to have it matter? I probably could have played the Engineered Explosives out. It's fine. I've got my 5-mana Planeswalker in play and my 6-mana Planeswalker in play. It actually doesn't matter what we do at this point. All right, 3 and 2. This deck's a hoot. Do I think this deck is tier 1? No. No, I do not. Do I think this deck is a blast to play and will I play it again in the future? Almost certainly. I think it plays a bunch of sweet cards. I think this is an insanely powerful card in Modern in general. I think finding the best control deck that can house Teferi is really valuable. And I don't think this is it, but I think like playing all these sweet cards alongside Time Warp is kind of great. But why each time you play this? Time Warp is great. You should watch the videos. You haven't been paying attention when the Time Warps are sweet. Like, some of the times Time Warp is just an explorer to get to Nissa faster, but there's a lot of situations where Time Warp with 1 or even 2, if you have 2 Planeswalkers in play, Time Warp is just the stone nuts. I've trimmed down on what we had at one point, but I think 2 is reasonable. And like, remember, this card costs 5, but in matches that don't have counterspells, it's free. It untaps your lands and you get another turn. So, any rate, if you're looking for something sweet to dirtle around with to draw a bunch of cards in Modern, we outcarded the crap out of Mardu Pyromancer in this league tonight, which is like one of the biggest card advantage monsters in Modern. So there really isn't anything fair that draws more cards than this once you really get going. So at any rate, thank you everyone for hanging out tonight. I just wanted to do a short evening stream after the open wrapped up. We've been going for about 4 hours. If you want to see more of this deck, be sure to check out my YouTube channel. You never beat Tron. Your fair mid-range deck that wants to draw cards never beats Tron in a million years. We lost to it earlier tonight. You're always going to die. It's just how it goes. Tron kills all the sweet things. You want to see more of this deck, check out my YouTube channel. You want to see more of me live, be sure to be here tomorrow morning. I'll be streaming starting about 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, about 12 and a half hours from now, and I'll be going until 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening tomorrow. I stream every day during the week starting about 10 a.m. So thanks for watching, folks, and I'll catch all y'all tomorrow, hopefully. If not, be sure to catch my stuff on the YouTube in the future. Closing window right now. Thank you, Doof Monster. You're the best. Have a good night, folks.